Berry the little snail and Dolly the ladybird play with their forest friends in their happy little world. Dolly the ladybird and Berry the little snail, always fun games to play, always a brand new tale. Berry and Dolly say, what will we learn today?
The Big Spider. Berry, Dolly, Flutter and Balthazar were gathering colourful leaves in the woods when they heard someone crying. Can you hear something, Berry? Dolly asked. Yes, it's coming from the cave. The friends were frightened, but went deeper and deeper into the dark cave. Then they saw where the noise was coming from. A baby beetle sat crying. Oh dear, what's wrong, baby beetle? Why are you crying? I got lost in this dark cave and I can't find my way out. How am I going to get back to my little house? What's your name? Berry asked. Bubble. Come on, don't be sad, Bubble. We'll show you the way to your house, Dolly said and hugged the baby beetle. Suddenly, they heard a scary sound from deep inside the cave. They hugged each other. All of a sudden, a big, angry spider appeared and shouted at them. Who woke me up? What are you doing in my cave?
Run, everybody!
Balthazar yelled, and they all ran. Let's hide here, Dolly said, and they all hid behind a rock. Luckily, the spider didn't spot them. But then Bubble started crying, and the spider found their hiding place. Berry, Dolly, Bubble, Balthazar and Flutter ran as fast as they could. But oh dear, Balthazar tumbled over a stone and the big spider caught up with them. Berry grabbed a spiky twig and bravely defended his friends. Go away, you ugly spider! Berry diverted the big spider's attention, while Flutter and Balthazar ran around it with a length of thread. Dolly looked after little Bubble and kept him safe.
We've got you now!
Balthazar shouted triumphantly. The spider tried to get out of the tangle, but it couldn't. And then it started to cry. I didn't want to hurt you. I've never hurt anybody before. I was just mad because you woke me up. Please let me go. I'll show you the way out of the cave. Do you promise you really won't hurt us? Berry asked. Yes, I promise. Climb on my back and I'll carry you out. They all sat on the spider's back and were soon outside again. It's time for us to say goodbye. Please come and see me again. Thank you for your help, Spider, Flutter said. Bubble had fallen asleep in the ladybird's arms. What should we do with him? Puzzled Dolly. Let's build a pram, Berry suggested, and they got to work immediately. They made him a pram out of a horse chestnut shell with wheels out of little logs. But where does he live? I know, Flutter said. The baby beetle didn't wake up until they reached his house. Oh, my little house. Have you brought me home? Thank you so much. Good night, little Bubble. Sleep tight and don't go into that cave all by yourself again because you'll get lost, Berry and Dolly said. Then they gave Bubble a hug.
Berry the little snail and Dolly the ladybird play with their forest friends in their happy little world. Dolly the ladybird and Berry the little snail, always fun games to play, always a brand new tale. Berry and Dolly say, what will we learn today?
The bicycle. One summer day, a pigeon delivered a parcel to Berry and Dolly. It was quite a big parcel and wrapped in pretty red paper and tied with a blue ribbon. Dolly read the note attached. "It's from the centipede! Hooray! He's coming to visit us soon, and he sent us this present." "To us?" Berry asked. "What do you mean? To me or you?" "It says in the letter that it's for us. It's a present for both of us, I suppose." "That's silly," Berry argued. "I'm sure it's meant to be for me because I was the one who found him in the snow last Christmas." "But he stayed at my house. I looked after him and made him tea," Dolly replied. "But I read him caterpillar stories from the storybook," Berry added. The red wrapping paper wasn't that strong, and it soon tore open. Wheels poked out from underneath. "It's a bicycle," Berry exclaimed. "It's just perfect for me." "No, it's just perfect for me," Dolly insisted. "All right, you can have the bicycle if you want it so much. I'll be the bigger person. You're behaving like a silly baby." That upset Berry. "That's not fair. I'm going to be the bigger person and you're the silly baby. You can have the bicycle." In the end, neither of them took the bicycle. They walked away and left the half-unwrapped bicycle in the meadow. Not long after that, Balthazar the bee and Flutter the butterfly came by.
What do you think it is? Is it a bicycle?
Balthazar asked. "Yes, it looks like it," Flutter replied. "There's a note stuck to it. It's for Berry and Dolly from the centipede."
Let's take it to them,
Balthazar suggested. They touched the bicycle and the rest of the wrapping paper fell off. This made them laugh. "Look, it's a tandem. 2 people can ride it."
Let's have a go,
Balthazar said. "Hello, Berry. Hello, Dolly. We brought you your bike. You left it in the meadow," Flutter shouted. Berry and Dolly came outside. They saw Flutter and Balthazar on the bicycle and felt very silly. "Oh, it's a tandem. We can both sit on it." "And we had such a fight about it." They made friends again and hugged each other happily. "What a super present. We wasted all our time quarrelling and we haven't made anything for the centipede. He could arrive at any minute." "Let's make him a colourful windmill. We can use pretty petals," Flutter suggested. "Yes, that's a great idea," Berry and Dolly agreed. The 4 friends gathered red, purple, white, yellow and pink petals and made a windmill. Just then, the centipede arrived in a cart pulled by a mouse. The little mouse stopped in the meadow and the centipede climbed out. He gave Berry and Dolly a big hug. "I see you got my present. I hope you like it." "It's beautiful. We love it," Berry and Dolly said. "And we made you this windmill." The centipede stayed with Berry and Dolly for 10 whole days. They went for long rides on their bicycle. They played a lot. They had a very good time, but the happy days passed soon. "I have to go home now. I've had such a super time here." "Do come and visit us again next summer," Berry and Dolly said, as they waved goodbye to their friend.
Berry little snail and Dolly the ladybird play with their forest friends in their happy little world. Dolly the ladybird and Berry the little snail, always fun games to play, always a brand new tale. Berry and Dolly say, what will we learn today?
Bubbles' Tower. It was a lovely summer afternoon and Bubble the baby beetle decided to play with his colourful building blocks. I'm going to build a tall tower with my blocks, he thought to himself and carried them to a hill nearby. He tipped the bright blocks out of their box in the shade of a big oak tree. As the tower grew, it was harder and harder for Bubble to reach the top. He had to stand on tiptoe and was just reaching for the top when his hand slipped and the tower tumbled to the ground. Oh no, Bubble complained. Now I have to start all over again. So the baby beetle started again from the beginning. The tower soon began to grow and was very tall indeed. But oh dear, an acorn from the oak tree knocked the baby beetle's tower down. My lovely tower! My tower's ruined again! It was the silly oak tree's fault, he said out loud. So little Bubble started again, but this time he moved out from under the old oak tree. He was stacking the blocks on top of each other when his friends Berry the snail, Dolly the ladybug and Stanley the stag beetle came walking over. Wow, you've built a beautiful tower, Bubble, they all said. Yes, it's nearly finished. All I have to do is put the red triangle on the very top. But then the wind blew and toppled his tall tower. Bubble got very angry. I don't believe it. I don't want to build towers anymore. I'm going home. His friends ran after him. Bubble, wait! Why don't we rebuild your tower together? No, I don't want to build towers anymore. You can't build a really high tower with this many blocks anyway, grumbled. He went into his house and slammed the door shut. How can we help Bubble? Dolly puzzled. We've got to think of a way to cheer him up somehow. I know what we can do, Stanley said. I've got another set of building blocks at home. I'll go and fetch them so we can build a really high tower together. That's a super idea. I've a box full of building blocks too. And I'll bring mine. We'll build the tallest tower ever. Berry pulled his blocks in a little trailer. Dolly pushed hers in a wheelbarrow. And Stanley carried his in a big basket. Hello, Bubble. Look, we brought our building blocks. Why don't we build a big tower together? Dolly asked nicely. We could build it in your house so that the wind won't knock it down again, Berry added. Goodness me, look at all those building blocks. We'll be able to build a very big tower with them, the baby beetle said with a smile. And now it's time to pop the red triangle on the top. You should put it on, Bubble, Stanley suggested. Hooray! It's finished! They all shouted together. Then Berry, Dolly and Stanley said goodnight to Bubble. The baby beetle went to bed very happy that night. He stared at the tower until he fell fast asleep.